Hey guys, I'm on site at Project Blueprint. Welcome back. We're in the MEP stages. That stands for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So I want to give you guys a tour and take a look at what we've got going on. Let's take a look. Okay, so I'm standing inside of the mechanical closet that is just off the entry. In here, because we are on a crawl space, we're gonna mount the furnace down in the crawler. One thing I wanna point out is you'll notice here in this back of the room, we have some supply ducts that are going up to the second level. If we pan and take a look up here, you'll notice that everything's in insulation because it's actually in the attic. So we've gotta make sure we provide some insulation up there because we are in a cool climate. Next, I wanna show you some of the electrical work. We always wanna drill through the center of the studs, and that way we can protect as the screw goes into these and not actually hitting the wires. If for some reason there is a location where they have to do it a little bit shorter, then they have what are called nail plates that they'll place over top of that, and that will protect you as a homeowner from accidentally placing a screws. And you can see here's a situation where we've had to put a couple nail plates on with the electrical. We've got both can lights and a fan that will be in this great room. And then the kitchen is also well lit with a bunch of can lights. And we'll have some real pretty pendants that'll be hanging over top of the island. We've got this heavier wire here. This will be running our oven, a wall oven, and we'll also hook up here a microwave setup. The other thing I want to point out is the electricians up here. The reason why they've got it set up like this is so that when we finish, it makes it really easy because sometimes the cabinetry moves a little bit and they don't want to put something where it's supposed to be dead center and then something changes on the cabinetry. This is our combination meter and electrical panel that's serviced from the outside of the house. That's where the meter, the power company has their meter on there and is able to track how much. You'll also see that we've got a ring here. So this is the bonding for the electrical system. And that is bonded like we talked about during the foundation video. And that's how we control the ground in the house. So we have the high voltage here, but we have the low voltage here. So this is where we've got for your internet and for your satellite TVs or whatnot. Then it's gonna come into the sub panel in the house where we'll set up all those controls. And this is the location where we have that coming in and then distributing throughout the different parts of the house. So like over top of the fireplace and over into the primary bedroom and all the other different locations that you see throughout the house. This is the sub panel that's inside of the garage from Square D that will service all the other smaller appliances and whatnot in the home. The plumber is still working, but we've got our tub set. This is a cast iron tub that we'll go ahead and tile all the way up. We've got our toilet, and then here, this is called drain, waste, and vent. So this is where all your pipes drain to, and then we call them venting because on the backside, we need to make sure that there's air being able to travel behind the water, and that way it'll drain quickly and efficiently. All right, one of the important tasks that our project managers and superintendents do on the job after the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing work is complete is they'll go through our checklist of quality control. One thing we always want to make sure is that as we step into a room, there always has to be a switch to turn on a light, okay? And we want to make sure that that box is at least 3.5 to 4 inches away so that when we put the casing on the door, that this doesn't interact. We want to make sure that we've got a staple within 12 inches of every single box, and they've done a really good job of that. The other thing is we'll make sure that all of our lights got installed. The electrician got the exhaust fan mounted. The HVAC contractor will come back in and you'll see that there's PVC fitting on the back side of that with nothing to that. So we will want to double check and make sure that when the mechanical contractor comes back in, that he finishes that connection and terminates that out the sidewall. If you come in here closely, you'll see that every single door jamb is written with a size and the swing on the door. So I know that this is a 2-4, so 2 feet 4 inches by 6 feet 8 inches tall door with a left-hand swing. So this door will swing open and to the left. That allows me to verify that all of the switches got put on the proper side of the door so we don't accidentally get a switch behind the door. So these are the number of quality control things that our project managers and superintendents do on every single job. We have a complete checklist for every single trade that comes through, and we spend the time to ensure that quality is where it needs to be in the homes. Thanks for coming and joining us on the journey of the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing sections of Project Blueprint. This floor plan's turning out amazing from your guys' design. Now we get to move forward with all the finishes, the insulation and the drywall, making this become really beautiful. Make sure you continue to follow us. Happy home hunting, and let's get back to work.